everybody. Still Economic Chat. Let's talk business with Mr. Daniel Stammen. Welcome back from the short break. As we have said before, we are talking about what drives the economy and everything that is linked to, or not everything, inflation that is also linked to energy, communication, transport, which is important factors in the day-to-day economy of every country.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
If you talk about the economy, you talk about those three basics that I've discussed. There's no way to get around it. Energy, communications, transport. Any modern economy runs on those three. And if you fiddle with the input cost of any one of the three, what you see, the effect is inflation. And we've identified that in our case, it is mostly, I would say it's about 80% caused by fluctuations in the price of crude oil. Crude oil has gone up. Not as much as in 2008, but still significantly, about 25%. Now, if the price of crude went up by about 25%, or it fluctuates in that range from, let's say, $60 to $90 US dollars per barrel. Why has petrol and diesel doubled in price? Think about this. This is the fundamental clue. A year ago, we were looking at the petrol and the diesel price in the region of about $11 to $12. Now we're looking at $22. What caused this? And this is where I want to put this in a way that does not bring you and me into trouble. But I see forces at work in the world economy. And I crunch the numbers. I look at the economic side of it, and I see there's this 25% give or take fluctuation in the crude price, and then I see locally petrol and diesel doubled, and then I see the impact. Now remember, we are tied to South Africa.
Yes.
So if it doubled in Namibia, it means it doubled in South Africa first, or commensurately at the same time, in tandem. And this is basically what happened. The prices just went up and up and up. The refineries are in South Africa. So I don't want to opt for the easy way out when I need to analyze this and just say it's a South African problem, because whether it's here or whether it's there, the question remains the same. If the fluctuation in crude is 25%, why did retail prices of diesel and petrol double? Because that impact in transport is what is having the inflationary effect on the stuff that you and I consume, that we buy in the supermarket here. And I'm not talking fancy stuff. I'm not talking about sweet and sour imported gherkins from Germany. I'm talking about basics. The stuff a household, a family needs every day. Like I said, it's not rump steak, it is millipap. That is my concern. And it is almost as if this inflation is becoming runaway. Every week, and I go to the supermarket at least twice a week, and I see from month to month the increase, the noticeable increase, not that small difference between normal prices and special prices, noticeable increase in basic food stuff, and I get worried.
I like how you use the term noticeable, because sometimes when some things increase, you don't actually notice the difference between before and now
because
price.
It's insignificant.
But now you see there's a whole $2 Namibian difference,
or 4
or 5 even.
Yeah, no, Elizabeth, again, you must not laugh. I am very fond of umaere. It's my farm upbringing. So I always buy these 2-liter umaeres, and they're usually in the region of about $48 for 2 liter. Now, sometimes you can get umaere, sometimes not. Then I buy oshikandera, which I don't like because there's sugar in it, and I like the raw, bitter umaere. So the other day, I noticed umaere is $61.
Yes.
And a month ago, it was 48. It just jumped. That is noticeable. It can't escape your attention. Yeah. And then I noticed that oshikandera is $51, and I was thinking to myself, it's basically the same thing. One has got a little bit of sugar in it, and the other one not. But the difference in price between the 2-liter containers is 11 Namibia dollars. So there are two things that I'm asking the people who determine prices how to explain to me. That jump from $48 for 2-liter umaere to $61 in a month. That is a $13 jump. The other difference, the other thing that I want explained is that difference between oshikandera and umaere. A $11 difference for a 2-liter container for basically the same thing. Do you see where I'm getting?
I see.
I'm saying that our inflation is manipulated.
It is.
I'm saying that prices are manipulated. And the warning that I want to issue is that if we don't take this seriously, look, it's not for the government to impose any price restrictions. That never works. For that, we can thank Zimbabwe. They showed us it never works. You have to look at the market forces. The market forces are determined by policy. So it means that we need to look at the policies that govern the fuel environment, because that's where our inflation comes
from.
And we need to find an answer for that question that I ask. If the price of crude fluctuates 25%, why did the price of petrol and diesel went up by more than 100%? Do you see? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Somewhere, some group, business, people, whatever, is manipulating prices. And that is what is causing the inflation. And if we can get rid of that part as part of what drives the economy, inflation will come down, become manageable, and you and I will not have to pay more than 50% more for our basic foodstuff than what we paid a year ago when our incomes only increased by 2 or 3 or 4%, if you're lucky.
If. It's a big if. But on that note, thank you so much for coming through, Mr. Daniel Stamman, and of course also making it clear that oil also plays an important role into inflation. I'm sure that there's a lot of people that does not understand that, but for those who just tuned in and listened, they now have an understanding to what oil plays on inflation. So thank you so much for that. And on that note, let's say goodbye, not have another break. Let's say goodbye until we meet again. From me, Elsa B. Tirinyani, goodbye.